on his back, fighting him off in the first round. And then they start in the second round. Chandler moves straight to him, and Oliveira just pieces him up.
Oh, yeah, I do remember. Yeah, I do remember.
He hit him with a clean left hook. It was clean.
I think I was there.
You might have been there.
Yeah, man, we
Joe Rogan has just warned Canelo Alvarez and asked him to avoid the Terence Crawford fight. The reigning 147-pound champions camp has confirmed that a deal is in place for him to face Mexico's three-division super middleweight king Canelo Alvarez. His team has confirmed that the fight is set for September 13th, discussing the matchup on a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience alongside stand-up comedian Brian Simpson. The UFC commentator couldn't contain his admiration for Crawford's brilliance in the ring, while praising the boxing phenom. Rogan also took a moment to address a major controversy surrounding Crawford's 2023 victory over Errol Spence Jr. Following Crawford's dominant performance, speculation arose that Spence's diminished defense was a result of lasting damage from a devastating car accident he endured years prior. The JRE host pushed back, arguing that Crawford's sheer brilliance as a fighter made the outcome inevitable. You would have beaten Spence's injuries or not. Joe Rogan stated that some people had tried to argue that Errol's defense was weakened due to the effects of his car accident and what Crawford had done to him. However, he questioned that assumption, suggesting that Crawford might have achieved the same result even 3 years earlier, as he believed Crawford was exceptionally skilled. Rogan described Crawford as highly skillful and slick, emphasizing that he was the best in the sport at switch hitting, seamlessly transitioning from southpaw to orthodox while maintaining the same level of effectiveness and confusing his opponents. He further mentioned that Crawford had extensive knowledge of boxing, particularly in terms of positioning and anticipating his opponent's moves. Looks like Rogan has taken quite a liking to the boxer, which explains his excitement for the showdown against Saul Canelo Alvarez. But while he's all in, not everyone is backing the American world champion. American boxer David Benavides didn't hold back when discussing the potential showdown between super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez and American world champion Terence Crawford. In an interview with TNT Sports, Benavides weighed in on both fighters' chances, acknowledging that each reigns supreme in their respective division. Fully aware of the magnitude of this matchup, he emphasized that it has all the makings of one of the most electrifying clashes in recent years. He said, "To be honest with you, Crawford is one of the best technical fighters I have ever seen."
Canelo wipes the floor with him. I love Crawford. I told you when Crawford and Spence that Crawford would beat the hell out of him. But Canelo is a different proposition. It's an interesting fight, but I think there's only one winner. Canelo is used to fighting at a particular level, and I don't think that Terence can hurt Canelo. Canelo can hurt.
Seen when he went to 154. I'm not saying he had problems, but he looked like he didn't have the power he had at 147, and he'd still have to come up 2 or 3 weight classes. However, he believes Canelo is the clear favorite to win given the natural advantages he holds at 168 pounds. Benavides further added Crawford is a one-of-a-kind fighter, but weight classes must be respected. I give Canelo the edge. Joe Rogan, though, is hopeful that Terence Crawford will be able to be in shape enough to face Alvarez head-to-head. On the same episode of the podcast, the JRE host mentioned that the fighter was going to face Canelo. He expressed his concern about whether he would be big enough to handle the challenge, emphasizing that he hoped he would be able to keep Canelo at bay. Rogan also noted how powerful Canelo's punches were, highlighting the difficulty of facing such a hard-hitting opponent. A potential September clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez in Las Vegas has boxing fans on the edge of their seats. Why? It's the classic clash of styles, strategic brilliance, and the challenge of bridging weight divisions. As excitement builds, the debate over who holds the upper hand rages on. Now, Jose Benavides, the elder brother of WBC interim light heavyweight champion David Benavides, has stepped into the discussion, adding fuel to the fire. At 32, Jose Benavides knows firsthand the power of Terence Crawford, having suffered a brutal knockout loss to him in their 2018 clash for the WBO welterweight title. With an up-close look at Crawford's skill set, he understands exactly what the undefeated 410-31 co-champion brings to the ring. However, Benz's prediction for an upcoming super fight isn't just based on experience, he also carries a personal motive. His younger brother never got the chance to face Canelo Alvarez, a missed opportunity that denied him a stage to prove his talent. Now, with the potential Canelo versus Crawford bout looming, Jose has already made his choice. So where does his loyalty lie? Josie Benavidez recently appeared at the press conference for the highly anticipated showdown between David Morrell and David Benavidez. During an interview with Fight Hub TV, he shared his thoughts on how he expects the fight to play out, and Josie Benavidez didn't hold back and confidently stated, like I said, Crawford's a beast. He's smart, he knows what he's doing. Regarding the opponent, he conceded that although Canelo is the naturally larger fighter, a fight's result isn't solely determined by size. He added, Canelo, he's not that big of a guy. Obviously, he weighs more. But you can't take anything from Crawford. He goes in there and wins. He also conveyed his disappointment for his younger sibling. In the meantime, it sucks that my brother didn't get that opportunity. Only Canelo knows why that didn't happen, and he's got to keep moving forward. He lamented as the intro.
It seems like it's not official, but it may be a done deal. Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez. Early thoughts? What do you think?
Yeah, look, the first thought is, can he handle the weight jump? Can he handle the weight jump? He being Crawford against Matt Rudolph, people are going to say, "Oh, he had some hiccups." Who don't have hiccups? When you eat something that's a little difficult to eat, and Matt Rudolph was a little difficult to eat, he's not easy to digest. He's a good fighter. When you eat something that's a little tough to digest, you get hiccups, right? So come on, he's human. So he had a few hiccups. He won the fight. He's Terence Crawford. A lot of people say, "Oh, Teddy, you make him so good. You always saying how great Crawford is." But who's he beat? He unified the, what was his first division? Lightweight. Then he unified the junior. Then he unified the junior welter. Then he unified the welter. I think I got the weight classes right. It doesn't matter. He unified like 3 different weight classes. He moved up in weight. He's beaten anybody that they put in front. He beat an undefeated fighter in Errol Spence that everybody thought was just like, one of the best fighters out there, which he was. He was. He was one of the top fighters pound for pound out there, and he didn't just beat him, he dismantled him. He might have ruined him. We were talking about getting ruined in fights earlier. He might have ruined him. We don't know. He hasn't been back yet.
From super middleweight champion Benavidez stood as Canelo Alvarez's mandatory challenger. However, negotiations stalled when Canelo allegedly set an exorbitant price for the fight with no deal in sight. Benavidez opted to move up in weight, where he secured a statement victory over Alexander Gasic to claim the interim light heavyweight title going forward. Josie didn't hold anything when asked about Terence Crawford's combat IQ. The thing with him is he's just a smart, Benavidez said he emphasized Crawford's knack for seamlessly transitioning between southpaw and orthodox stances, which adds an element of unpredictability and danger to his style. He also pointed out that many opponents who step into the ring with the Mexican champion appear to be mentally overwhelmed before the fight even starts, but he believes Crawford will approach it with a complete different mindset. So Crawford is going there to win, he's not going in there to lose. He predicted other fighters and pundits disagree with Benavidez's assessment of Crawford's skills. Mexican boxing icon Julio Cesar Chavez has thrown his support behind Canelo, forecasting a knockout within 6 or 7 rounds. Although he respects Terence Crawford's talents, Chavez firmly believes the 13 pounds weight disparity between the two fighters will be too much to overcome. Crawford is a good fighter, but there's weight classes. The 3-weight world champion explained. On the other hand, given the Southpaw's success across various divisions, Paul doubts it will have any significant impact on his performance. Furthermore, Paul thinks that Terence has the skill and is a bit fresher than Canelo. If I had to put my money on it, I would probably go with Terence. Jake Paul certainly caught everyone off guard with his pick, but he's not the only one backing the super welterweight over Canelo. Alvarez. Alexander Usyk, for his part, expressed a similar admiration during an appearance on the